What is up, everyone? This is Press X to Start Podcast Season 6, Episode 12. Press X to Start Podcast is an audio and video podcast seeking to transform the video game media landscape through an underserved and protected point of view. I am your host, back at it again, DJ, a.k.a. Sexy Bad Choices, a.k.a. I just want to give it up to Avery and Sean because they did an amazing job last episode, and it was immaculate. So thank you, boys. You did great. AKA.
Views are mixed.
Well, there's only one, and it's my review, so it's not mixed. AKA. I just want to make this announcement very public and very clear for all those who don't know that Press X Start Podcast has been officially chosen to be in the next DC WebFest award show. So we did it.
Okay.
There's no clapping. Can we get at least someone else being
Marcus,
like, we're amazing?
Marcus do it in post. It's fine.
There we go. Marcus will nail it.
I thought we were told not to make noise while you were doing the intro. We were just following the rules there, my guy.
I literally already broke that rule. I was muted the entire time.
I am Sean MF Ross.
What the MF stand for?
I am no longer standing.
Oh, that's true. This guy was about to just do swats through the entire episode, and I'm like, this is just amazing. He'd be sweating before what we've been playing. Who else is here?
It's your boy Jordan, aka JXBot, aka Dungeon Master Jordan, I guess.
Whoa.
Come on.
This man got his own dungeon?
Yes. It is what it is. Don't judge.
And last up?
Hi, everyone. It's me, Avery.
Nailed it, as always. Beautiful. All right, that is who we are. And the things that we'll be talking about, specifically, Geoff Keighley dancing on E3's grave in immaculate fashion. NetEase now owns Star Wars in a very weird and unexpected way. And then the new PlayStation Plus is here. Well, is here in terms of his announcement, and we're going to talk about the announcement, and everyone is excited for the new PlayStation Plus. Not really. All right. With that being said, I think it is time for us to jump into the quick hits.
Hey, everyone. It's me, Avery. The rest of the team is here, so I've got some moral support. However, my mom did do a review of last episode, and she said not a fan. So let's see if I can't improve that. Anyway, our first story is from IGN. This is from Rebecca Valentine. E3 2022, digital and physical, has officially been canceled.
Oh man, I am.
Hands up. Hands up.
So, shout out to both Greg Miller and Xavier Woods, responsible for being chosen to be the host of E3 content, and then immediately getting that shit canceled the next year. So, Predator, arm shake meme in the chats. But yeah, after previously canceling its in-person event, the ESA has now informed its partners that there will be no digital event equivalent this year either, meaning E3 2022 has officially been canceled. I want to say E3 2020 was the first affected by the pandemic, which is a full-on, we can't do anything, guys. I'm like, that's understandable. 2021 is when they did their big digital E3 event. They also had to do that in the midst of Jeff Grubb's Summer Game Mess and Geoff Keighley's Summer Game Fest, which was, certain people tell you it was a great series of content. I will tell you that, man, I really miss the time when everyone had their shit together.
Totally agree.
Anyway, so this year they're like all news was stating that like in a world where live events are starting to come back and like GDC just happened and DICE just happened and people are getting physical for those things. Even in the midst of this pandemic, you'd think the idea of an E3 would happen, or they would at least put in plans to do one. But from all looks and everything, there's absolutely nothing. No E3. Now, an addendum to this story is around the time before E3 was announced, Geoff Keighley put on the internet a winky face emoji. And then the minute E3 was canceled, Geoff Keighley immediately came out with a tweet. Hey everyone, I'm proud to announce that Summer Game Fest is back for 2022.
Like Sting in the rafters, staring down on the immobilized body of E3. Geoff Keighley came with the smackdown.
Air Force energy.
Absolutely. I saw a meme. I meant to share it in the Discord, but I saw a meme going around of the Undertaker meme. So
there you go.
Yeah, who's in the front, but that guy was E3 and then Undertaker was Geoff Keighley.
There you go.
Perfect.
So, how does everyone feel that we're not getting E3 again this year and we're getting more of Geoff Keighley Summer Game Fest?
I think all the major publishers kind of like adjusted themselves last year around. I mean, like E3 was kind of in the background of all like the bigger ones while they were strung together. But each publisher can like run their own thing through their YouTube, through their Facebook, through their Instagram of all they want to do and not have to program it around like this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday schedule that E3 tends to do. Because usually I'm at work when E3 happens. So yeah, E3 is not necessary right now.
I think Sony's been doing their thing for a while. Nintendo has had their Nintendo Directs and Tree Houses. What was anybody really expecting from E3 these past couple of years? That was big.
It's so funny how sort of like prescient Sony was. Everyone gave them shit for dropping out of E3 like 4 years ago, and now here we are and like DJ.
Oh no. You can continue your talk now.
I just wanted to bring up that point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is kind of weird. Like, I think for me, growing up, E3 was such a big thing.
Yeah, it was something. It was our mecca. Huge. You wanted to go there at some point.
Yeah.
And it thrived on a time pre-YouTube, and pre this super surges of YouTube.
Exactly. So like I have all these memories of just watching G4 TV, just literally just watching the same game trailers over and over again just to be a part of this thing that's all on the other side of the US. Like it was so awesome.
I never went when I had the chance.
I know. So like where I'm at, it's just like, man, the fact that E3 is canceled and more than likely, like I'm not sure if you mentioned it, Avery, but they said they're going to come back in full fashion next year in an in-person event. And it's like, okay, hopefully we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right, Gil.
But like, I am saddened just for the headline, but I'm also excited to see how Geoff Keighley could step up to this and essentially become that E3 that everyone looks to. And I think where E3 has what E3 has transformed into right now is just like, I don't like that. Like, I think people are supporting it, but it's just, we all know that it's so expensive to do. And a lot of developers don't really want to be a part of it because of the money. And I think
rent booth space and stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, also, organizing the trailers for them takes time too. Editing the trailers and shit like that. That was something that publishers and small developers are like, we got time for this. Let's focus on making the games, and they'll come out.
Yeah, and I think if Geoff Keighley can create an event that is, it doesn't necessarily have to be on the same level of E3 because that's a lot of expectation. But if he can just do something that's similar to that, I think he can use this year to really overtake E3 and become the thing that everyone wants to, watch and essentially put money to. Because I think it's going to be a thing of next year, he's going to need more sponsors to make whatever this thing he's going to make better. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what happens.
So, I've made my, I guess, like random jabs about the state of E3 and the Summer Game Fest. I think the power of E3 was that, hey, everyone, here's a week where we consolidate all of our game news and into a single place. When Geoff Keighley took control, it was essentially him just putting his name on the other publishers and groups doing their own things, whether it needs to be done or not. So every once in a while you get, hey, Xbox pulling it out for their big summer fest. Cool. Okay. Maybe Nintendo will put out a random direct. Probably not going to be involved with it, but Geoff Keighley's going to make sure his name is on it. So PlayStation doing something later. Does the Embracer Group need an event?
Oh, Jesus Christ, embrace it.
Not at all. Not at all.
This is going to sound crass. Does the indie gamer Super Cave need a 2-hour event? Does Gearbox need an event? I like Square. Does Square need an event? Does Capcom need an event?
Yeah.
This has been my rub with the Geoff Keighley Summer Game Fest era. Like, if you want to do 50 different conferences, then don't put them like don't put them every other week. Consolidate into one at the best 1 month time of conferences, and then I won't mull when I have to sit through a 2-hour Embracer conference because I know that I'll get done with this now. Like it's
Yeah,
I agree.
I totally agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I agree that E3 has become a weird dinosaur, but Keighley Summer Game Fest haven't gotten the renown that I guess the E3 has. Like, I'm not excited for the Keighley Summer Game Fest because honestly, it's like, okay, I'm waiting for the publishers to announce, hey, when are their press conferences going to be? And I'm going to pick and choose what I actually care about. In E3, I literally watch every press conference because literally it was so easy to digest. Right. So I'm just
that was their block to watch the stuff. So you just did it. Yeah.
And as much clout that's I guess Keighley has, I don't think he has clout enough to tell every major publisher, hey, this is when you're going to do your press conference.
Get it ready. Get your content ready.
Yeah,
man.
I wonder if E3 was affecting publishers negatively as far as crunch, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Having something to show when it wasn't ready to be shown, or if announcing stuff way too early.
Yeah, because it was the whole vertical slice thing. Like everyone had to stop their production to create this vertical slice for E3, and that stuff is not a thing that you get done in a couple of weeks. Like that takes months. So if you think about it, like they probably have to stop producing or stop developing the game maybe like March. Start working on that vertical slice.
Not necessarily start developing the game, but have a team.
Or like split a team off. Yeah. So I mean, I really hope with the cancellation of E3 that when Geoff reaches out to the publishers, they are more inclined to hear his plans and like more inclined to go with it versus doing their own thing. Because like they can do their own thing and probably pull in numbers, but I think especially if I don't remember the date or time of his event, but if it's gonna be the same area or same time span as where E3 used to be, is it?
Well, that's the thing. Geoff Keighley Summer Game Fest is like his opening night live with his Gamescom. No, wait.
No, it ends with opening night live.
Yeah, like it's like 3 major events that he puts on. It's his like keynote thing where he gets a bunch of gamers. Then he has this Gamescom thing somewhere in there, and then he ends it with Game Awards. So you also remember Summer Game Fest doesn't end till Game Awards. It's this long thing, and then you have all these people in between it. My thing is, I'm going to reiterate, I don't think he has the clout to tell Sony when to do their conference. I don't think he has the clout to get Nintendo to do it. He probably does with Xbox because they're more willing to play game with like his promotional stuff. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I think it's like if PlayStation puts the conference out, it's going to be like fucking September, August. And Nintendo's probably going to do one in like July or some shit. And he's going to be like, hey, everyone, remember, this one, it's dumb. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next story.
Fingers crossed.
Long live E3. E3 is dead. Let's move on. Okay, so our next story is from Windows Central. This is from Samuel Tolbert. NetEase reportedly acquiring Star Wars Eclipse developer Quantic Dream. So French development studio Quantic Dream is reportedly being acquired by NetEase, a Chinese gaming company known for partnering with Western developers to release localized versions of games. This is not concrete. This is sort of confirmed but not announced sort of news in regards to this acquisition. In a world, we'll see how this pans out.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's a thing of NetEase just buying the developer, but then letting them continue working how they were. Well, I don't even know if that's actually a good thing because how they were working wasn't really great for studio. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah. I don't know. But I think this was a very surprising announcement dropped to come out, and a lot of people just like, wait, NetEase is buying Quantic Dream? The people who are working on the Star Wars Eclipse game? like what? Yeah. It's a big surprise.
We'll see. If there's anything to favor this, like we said, with most acquisitions, it's all about the team itself getting the support they need, so they don't have to be working paycheck to paycheck or from game to game in order to support themselves.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, more power than NetEase. It's nice to hear an acquisition story not coming from one of the, I guess, big
Tencent.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Our next story is from Kotaku. Rit DJ in the chat. This is from Ari Notice. Breath of the Wild sequel delayed to 2023. Nintendo apologized.
Nah, I'm still an April Fool's
apologizing to.
Tragic.
Me. They're apologizing to me because they know that I picked this for my fantasy league and I was relying on that game because freaking Sean is out here getting all the numbers and shit.
The last Breath of the Wild came out in 2018. It's like, barring all the shit we're going through into the game development, like I'm give developers and publishers as much time as they need to finish this shit. It's tough.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah. I completely like me playing that character that's upset because they're ruining my numbers. I'm completely okay with them taking the time they need to make Breath of the Wild a hit. Also, that's it. Period there.
Yeah. I'm not sad. I think anything that hurts DJ and his fantasy league is more power to us, because at this point I'm playing for second place. And I think I prefer to have Sean on top than DJ and have him cheat once again next year. So
hey, Avery, you're trying to make a recount. I'm on that train too.
Watch I get first pick next year too.
I was you will if you're the one who starts the draft, you're going to get first pick. The order is going to be the order that we currently have.
Yeah,
which is something you need to figure out. But yeah, I was never of the mindset that Breath of the Wild sequel was coming out this year. I know a lot of people were like super hyped about it because and if I'm in the development cycle, it makes sense. But like we have seen. They haven't shown anything about this. They haven't teased anything about it. It's been
like 30 seconds or something a year or two ago.
Last year they showed actual game. Like a year before they showed the teaser, which is like a cutscene. The year before, last year they showed actual gameplay, and it's
because the first time they showed Zelda and Link, or I should say Zelda and Zelda going underground, and they reached the place that or whatever.
Creepy
and then,
face thing,
yeah. And then they showed more of that, plus like the Sky Zone and Ground Zone, and the character that we don't know.
I kind of remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I need to finish the first one.
Yeah,
more power to you.
We're at the crossroads now. DJ, are you doing the subscriber push?
Of course I am. Hey, dear listener and watcher of our content, and soon to be future subscriber, how about you just go ahead and do that? Hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, and hit like the podcast or like the video. Jesus Christ, I am all over the place. Okay. Let's redo that. Say you didn't press the button, right? So you hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button, and then you hit the notification bell. You do those three things, and then you will be an official subscriber to our content, and we will thank you for your subscription. And
how will you
check your mail?
DJ?
I will thank them by sending them to Jordan's dungeon.
I'm guessing it's easy to escape.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, you do that. We appreciate it. Continue, Avery.
Okay, this is story 4. This is another Kotaku story. This is from Ethan Gotch. Allegation of sexism, bullying, and burnout inside the Microsoft studio behind State of Decay 3. The video game industry faces a long overdue reckoning. The average game developer is underpaid relative to the generous bonuses and shareholder payouts enjoyed by the CEOs above them. And recent reports and lawsuits have uncovered a wide range of mistreatment across companies big and small. Many feel that something needs to change, and some industry leaders have openly agreed, but change is hard. It takes time. It can be costly. Maybe that's why even companies who talk a good game on workplace culture and responsibility can still come up short. This is a direct quote from Phil Spencer. Our responsibility is simple. Do everything possible to ensure that this entire industry is about treating every single person with dignity and respect. Microsoft CEO Phil Spencer said on stage to a room full of game developers last month at the 2022 DICE Awards. The Xbox veteran has been beating this drum for a long time, but even he admits that he and other leaders haven't always risen to the challenge. So this is a very interesting article because it essentially reveals that the team behind Save Decay has not been in a good place. But it also posits that Microsoft himself has turned around the studio in certain aspects, but there still is a lot of talk from internally of the studio about how bad it got. And one interesting thing about this is, so when the story broke, Kotaku reached out to Microsoft PR in regards to a statement, and this is a weird ass statement for me, which is a very PR company ass statement about the situation. When pressed about all the information they got, Microsoft PR essentially, this is from Matt Booty specifically, every studio Xbox is given the resources and the guidance they need to grow in both capability and culture. What that support looks like will vary by studio, but each has a direct connection with Microsoft. HR resources outside of what they have on their team and the ability to work with the other studios and partner teams to leverage their expertise. Wow. Additionally, all Microsoft employees, including our studio teams, are required to regularly complete our standards of business conduct training, which covers topics like harassment, supplier code of conduct, and more. Over the last few years, Undead Labs has seen a number of positive changes, and we are confident in the direction the team is taking State of Decay 3, one of our most ambitious open world games in development. So this statement semi-acknowledges everything that's happened before, but downplays it to a certain extent in regards to where the team is now.
Mm-hmm. And I was looking at the article too, when you shared it, because I think about a few months ago, Microsoft had put a cash infusion into State of Decay to scale up the development, to redo the engine and all this stuff. But my question, when I was reading it, was a timing of it, because there was a current developer that was interviewed recently and said that yes, those issues had occurred up until recently, to which it has quote unquote improved, but they're not saying specifically in what way it improved. You talked about indicators including a more diverse staff. It's just improvement is a very flexible word. But
I think one of the quotes from the article pretty much points out that you can be as diverse and inclusive as you want if you're not giving those minority groups the tools to succeed. Right. Which is, I think, one of the quotes in there, which indicates that Microsoft, from what I can tell, this is actually goes in tandem with the initiative story we got ages ago. Microsoft is apparently really hands off with all of their studios, which makes sense with they have 30 of them, and it's going to be impossible to be on top of everything. So every studio essentially fend for yourself unless you really need us for help kind of situation, I believe. Mm-hmm. And as a direct result, you get situations where on top they're forcing these practices which are for the betterment of the studio, but internally the teams themselves haven't adapted to creating the perfect inclusive standpoint, which sucks. I think I remember a couple stories about talking about where the shoe was going to continue to drop when it comes to these type of stories, and it keeps falling down that massive flight of stairs. I don't think we ever talked about this, but the Ori developer, who Microsoft doesn't own, but they were specifically really in tandem with Microsoft for years, also went through a lot of this bullshit, and it's very and I'm hoping that Phil Spencer is truly the man of his word and not just the corporate face of Xbox, and that we'll see a lot more. We won't see any of these stories ever come out of Xbox.
Right. Yeah, there's this weird I'm not the term weird, but DEI and how it is being translated to organizations, both public and private. It's not a one size
real quick,
fits all.
For those who don't know, what is DI?
Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Cool. And one part of it is the product itself, the services themselves, and how they affect consumers and residents, people like us. The other side of it is the treatment of staffing themselves, like, the hiring, the support, and like when the president Biden signed that executive order to make DEI more of a national investment, all these companies, both private and public, they had to reform themselves, and they're tripping over themselves while reforming. It's a very deliberate action, and we have to make sure to keep on holding them accountable.
Right. Totally.
Anything else? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's an interesting story. And then our final story, which is a cornucopia of Activision Blizzard stories, is our first one. Is that this is from Kotaku as well. This is from Sissy. I'm gonna say Zhang. Activision Blizzard settles sexual harassment lawsuit for $18 million. The U.S. District Judge Dale Fisher approved an $18 million relief settlement with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission today. This settlement comes months after Activision Blizzard originally agreed to settle with the EEOC on September 27, 2001. So essentially, this is the culmination of a lot of the Activision Blizzard bullshit we've heard for the last year from a government body sort of forcing change upon them. This being you have to take this money and physically inject it into your ecosystem to make it a better place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
No, continue.
No, I was saying the outcome that you're stating, the $18 million, they're saying that's not the best outcome in terms of the fine print. If you were going to get into that, I apologize for
no, you're correct. It's this is the settlement, and ideally, you don't have to be a lawyer or have a law degree to recognize when settlement is made. It's rarely in the interest of the party who's going to be receiving the settlement, because this is traditionally the company saying, "Hey, to shut all this down, here's some pocket change from us that won't really affect our bottom line."
Yeah, $18 million. That's they're being sold for $68 billion, my guy. That is nothing to them.
Yeah. To add insult to injury on this, here's another Activision Blizzard story. This is from The Verge, from Jay Peters. Activision Blizzard confirms vaccine mandate is over. Employees will walk out April 4th. Okay, essentially, this is a story that brewed over the last couple of weeks, in that at some point, everyone in Activision Blizzard was working from home. People who could work in the office were working in the office, but it was you don't have to come in with the current pandemic. And I think beyond changing the way workflows work, because here's the thing, ideally everyone wants to be working in the office together as a creative team. As great as working from home and as convenient as it is for people to do that, ideally when you're in a collaborative position, working in close proximity with other people is the most ideal situation. So it's totally understandable from a developer, from a publisher and development team kind of way, we need to get our workforce back into the office as quick as possible. So a lot of companies have been adopting a hybrid thing where if you can't come in, you can't come in. If you can't come in, you can't come in. But converting a mandate where, hey man, you don't need a vaccine. Everyone needs to be in the office. I don't care if you got the vaccine. Everyone just has to be in the office. That's so wild shit.
I wonder if they're doing anything with masks, then they're requiring them, or are they banning them? Because I know some businesses ban masks from their place of,
Really?
Yeah, they got a bunch of stores and restaurants that ban masks.
Huh.
So it's there are laws that prevent entities, both public and private, from forcing vaccinations essentially when it comes to employees. But there are also procedures that help ensure, like Sean said, in terms of masking, that ensures safety for those that may legitimately not have they might be immunocompromised or anything like that. Based on what we're reading here, it's Activision is not for those that decide not to not to be vaccinated, they're not being forced to test, which is another pathway of ensuring the office is safe. Testing, like that's a thing. So yeah, like it's just it's very dangerous, and like there's more variants out there. No, this is awful. This is absolutely awful.
And thusly, the ABK, a better Activision Blizzard, have pretty much said, "Oh yeah, we're walking out. We're doing another walkout to protest this." So I cannot fathom how an organization body gets bought out for nearly $70 billion and then doesn't decide, all right, we need to put our best face forward. I know Phil Spencer and the Xbox team was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. We won't even be able to just like
so true.
We won't even be able to like start the ball running when they join us. We have to be
$70 billion dumpster fire.
We have to continually putting out these fires.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third story is less bad, but more interesting. And this is from Fox Business, from Paul Best. Microsoft purchase of Activision under regulatory scrutiny as lawmakers call out frat boy culture. So I think Jordan has more insight on this than me. But ultimately, what I could gather from this is that a group of U.S. senators have been monitoring this Activision Blizzard thing, and because Microsoft is a major tech giant who, frankly, you have had a tenuous at best relationship with the U.S. government in regards to their expansion, they've looked at this and said, "Oh no, this does not seem like a good idea, especially with the current state of Activision."
And look, and Avery's right in terms of like the intentions of the senators. It was Senator Warren, Senator Sanders, Senator Booker, and there was a third one. A fourth one. For context, Senator Warren, she started the Consumer Protection Bureau, to which like antitrust and all that is her bread and butter. Yeah. Senator Sanders, firebrand when it comes to progressivism in the Senate. Booker's somewhat over there in the fourth one. The context of the letter itself doesn't seem that informed about both Activision and Microsoft, because based on, at least its wording was, if Activision were to merge with Microsoft, employees at Activision would be in danger.
Real quick,
yes.
Just to give more contents, the fourth person is Sheldon Whitehouse.
Yes. So they're thinking that the employee culture will get worse, as in I think they're under the impression that currently Microsoft has a awful culture, and now that Activision is being merged with it, it's going to get even worse. That doesn't seem right. It seems like staffers got a hold of this and may have given them different information, because it's currently Activision is a dumpster fire. Activision has been proven to be a dangerous place. Yeah. The merger doesn't equate to more danger as what they are saying. So it's currently a midterm year. This is a fairly well-known merger out there in terms of like the public zeitgeist. And once the election does come around, it does seem like this could be something that they can bring up when they go back to the constituency, say, all right, we were there to help, ensure that the merger was scrutinized as best they can when it comes to the FTC. But the wording of I don't know who like the staffer is supposed to do a better job informing them what's going on, because there are legitimate concerns to have here about large mergers, but it's like, come on, guys. They could have done a better job of explaining what was going on.
That's the last of our stories.
All right. With that being said, well, this has been another episode of Press X to Start podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it. Don't forget to rate and review us on your favorite podcasting app. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a friend after you hit the notification button of this YouTube video. Remember, our podcasts and our videos are we drop them weekly on Fridays, so make sure you're there to check them out in case you don't know, what you should know by now. Well, you take care, you be safe, and you have a good day. And if you can't have a good day, don't make it a bad day for anyone else. There you go.